Our work right now is to orient ourselves toward not knowing and still finding joy. The arc of this pandemic, the possibilities for intervention, the horizons of restrictions are at this point still unknown. And at some point, we're going to look back and we're going to tell the story of COVID-19 and how it progressed and how it changed us. Right now, we're in the midst of that story. Judaism teaches us that we choose life, we create joy, even in the midst of uncertainty, even in the midst of sorrow. So thank you for welcoming us into the joyful, intentional, justice-seeking community that you are. We're so happy to be with you. Shabbat Shalom. And we'll all light our candles together. We're over here. Baruch atah Eloheinu haolam asher kishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליקנה של Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, creator of the universe, who has made us holy through your commandments and commanded us to kindle the Sabbath lights. Shabbat Shalom.
We'll start services in a few moments. I want to thank Deborah for those beautiful words. And we will definitely seek that joy together in the face of the unknown. So I want to welcome all of you. I want to invite you to draw near. Let us bless that tonight we are braided together like strands of ether through time and space to intentionally rise in multiple screens and cells on screens, like one virtual organism this evening. Seeing all of you, and if you see me look to your left, it's because I'm looking at your faces, which gives me strength and the opportunity to connect with you, as I also look directly into your faces this evening as well. Seeing all of you in this form helps me understand our interdependence. I wanted to give you some general instructions for participation this evening. First and foremost, I want to invite all of us to let go of perfectionism. I believe that this is a time where we get to adventure together. We're trying something new. This is a new frontier that we can explore. We might get lost, and we will likely be in the mystery together. So be gentle with yourselves, and I also ask you to be gentle with us. For those of you who have a hard copy Kol Hanshama, that is what we're using. We also have sent out a link. I know that for some folks it worked and some it didn't. There are probably lots of Reconstructionist communities that are using this link right now. If you aren't able to do that, you can use another prayer book, or you can really just allow the prayers to wash over you and to join and listen to the familiar melodies and words. I want to invite you to use the chat function. I may not be able to see what you're saying, but at least it will make you feel better. And more importantly, there's a way that you can connect with each other on the chat and talk just like you were in synagogue anyway. And then I want to invite you to sing with us. No one can hear you except those next to you. So sing loud, join us. And then at the very end, folks, particularly those who are on Zoom, I want to invite you to stay for a special message from our first Vice President, Nancy Kreisman. And then, if you would like to, we will break up folks into oneg rooms afterwards, so you may share a nosh with one another. As you can see tonight, we're leading our services outdoors for some greater precautions and the possibility to bring the outdoors into your home. Let us suffer from the pollen without you having to do the work. And let us prepare together for Shabbat and its sweetness. I invite you just to take a deep breath with me. May the obstacles of our fear, the anxiety, the pain, our worries, let them loosen this evening. May our hearts unfold like the blossoms all around us in this season. Yesterday we celebrated the new month of Nisan, and in the Talmud it says that this is the time to bless the flowering of fruit trees. And the blessing is, blessed are you, eternal our God, life of the universe, who has left nothing lacking in your world, and who has created in it beautiful creatures, beautiful trees, through which people can derive pleasure. And I think that for many of us, being in this season of blossoming has lightened our sense of burden in these times. And so an alternate way to offer that blessing that I just said is to join us in singing this contemporary psalm written by our chorus director, Will Robertson. Please join us in singing Beauty.
Everywhere there is beauty, I see beauty. Everywhere that I go, lift me up from despair, come and soothe me, reach right through me, hold me harder than I've ever known. Everywhere there is beauty, and I see beauty. Everywhere that I go, lift me up from despair, come and soothe me, reach right through me, hold me harder than I've ever known. Seems like the cost of life is so much higher than what we had saved. A sea of frost and ice is trying to bury us under its weight. Just look around. Why is it that you're so afraid? Everywhere there is beauty, I see beauty. Everywhere that I go, lift me up from despair, come and soothe me. Reach right through me, hold me harder than I've ever known. A few dozen years to hang around, take things past where they were when we came. Some fly away, some run aground, some spin in circles, if it's all the same. I'd rather walk when you held me 5 hours on the way. Everywhere there's beauty, and I see beauty. Everywhere that I go, lift me up from despair, come and soothe me. Reach right through me, hold me harder than I've ever known. Everywhere there's beauty, and I see beauty. Everywhere that I go, lift me up from despair, come and soothe me. Reach right through me, hold me harder than I've ever known.
Friends, the presence of Shabbat is emerging. We welcome the Malachim, we welcome the messengers of peace at this time. We want to give you an opportunity, as we typically do at congregation-based Haverim, and take on this role of being messengers of peace and of love and of kindness. And so we're going to invite you, before we sing the prayer on page 13, to take a moment as we break you up into rooms randomly, to turn to folks and wish each other a good Shabbos. For folks in your rooms that you don't know, introduce yourselves, welcome each other as we create community virtually tonight for our Shabbat services. We'll do this now, and we'll join together in just a few moments.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, I don't need that.
It's my birthday.
Great.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Wow, it's gonna be a whole new world.
Wow, they're trying to break it up into like smaller sections.
I mean, I get about
Because I think there's so many freaking
morning
people
with
in
the
the thing.
Hakka.
Oh, we can get
I
off.
think there's so many people in the thing. Oh, we can watch it on the other.
We're watching it on the other, so it's fine. We can log off the Zoom.
Yeah, what's love?
Yeah,
What's love?
Hi. Hi.
I can't.
Good Shabbos.
Anybody? I cannot tell who's in my meeting.
Well, we're supposed to say hello to people that we don't know. I don't think I know them very well.
I cannot see you.
Whoops.
Oh.
What background you have there, Amy? I know, right? I just downloaded the Zoom app because I'm a teacher and now we're teaching on Zoom. And you can make these practices.
That's so cool.
And Rabbi Josh, when we were talking about this, I just thought, my world is so prosaic.
Join breakout meeting. Oh, well.
Actually, our pupa was a specially made meat that are made out of so I have a totally
Page 13 for our friends on Facebook.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh,
There.
how about them?
There.
Hi, Sam, where are you?
Oh, I've only seen a couple of.
Hi.
Hi, Carrie. Shabbat shalom.
We now turn to page 13 as we sing Psalm.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Melech, Malachei Hamrachim, Akadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Hamlachim Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Bakuni Shalom Malachei Hashalom Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Hamlachim Hakadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Hamlachim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu.
We turn to Psalm 96 on page 25. We sing a new song for a new month. This melody is from Cantor George Mordechai, who was born in Sydney, Australia, to Iraqi and Indian Jewish immigrants, and he weaves his rich cultural heritage into his work as a Jewish musician and cantor. Please join us.
Shiru Ladonai, Shir Hadash, Shiru Ladonai, Koharet, Shiru Ladonai, Baruch Shemo, Basu Miyom, Yeshuato, Yai 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 Adonai, Koharet, Shiru Adonai, Baruch Shemo, Basu Miyom, Beyom Yeshuato, Yai Yai Yai
We move around the globe with our music, and we find from Jerusalem Nava Tequila's Psalm 98, page 33, Yiram Hayam.
Yiram Hayam Umelo, Yiram Hayam Umelo, Nedave Yoshveva, Yiram Hayam Umelo, Yiram Hayam Umelo, Yiram Hayam Umelo, Nedave Yoshveva, Yiram Hayam Umelo, Neharot Imchau Chaf, Ya la la la, Yachan Harim Yiranenu, Ya la la la, Neharot Imchau Chaf, Ya la la la, Yachan Harim Yiranenu, Yiramayamu Melo, Yiramayamu Melo. Nebebe Yosheba, Yiramayamu Melo. Yiramayamu Melo. Yiramayamu Melo. Nebebe Yosheba, Yiramayamu Melo. You can join us on the Yala Live. Neharot Imchau Chaf, Ya la la la, Yachan Harim Yiranenu, Ya la la la, Neharot Imchau Chaf, Ya la la la, Yachan Harim Yiranenu, Yiramayamu Melo, Yiramayamu Melo, Nebebe Yosheba, Yiramayamu Melo.
We arrive at the pinnacle of Kabbalat Shabbat, the Tlachadodi on page 41. We'll sing the first two verses and the last two verses. You'll find, as I said, in your Kol HaShema on page 41.
Ulechadodi Nikra Alam Shabbat Nekabela Ulechadodi Nikra Alam Shabbat Shamor bezamor, Ribor v'pam, Yishliyan, El Hamuchar, Adonai Echad, Ushmo Echad, Shemo Tiferet, Shabbat Nekabela Olecha Dodi Nikra Kala Shabbat
Please rise. Shalom, Atevretala, Am Besimcha, Uvisola, Tochemuneh, Am Segula, Oisala, Oisala, Olecha Dodi Nikra Ala Penei Shabbat Nekabela Olecha Dodi Nikra Ala Shabbat as we finish this love psalm, just want to invite, if you would like, to leave each other notes, either on Zoom or on Facebook, about the care, the affection, the love that you have for one another. I feel like this is an incredibly important time for us to make sure that we all express what's on our hearts, and this is a wonderful opportunity to actually put it down and let people know how much it means to be gathering this way together. So we're going to continue to stand after you put in some of your chats. As we turn to page 55, take our time. You're going to find the Chatzi Kaddish. If you'd like, you're more than welcome to join me. V'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, Yalma dibra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayesod u'vyomechod, u'chayetecho beit Yisrael, Bagala, u'bizman kariv, V'meru amen. Yeheshmei Rabbo mepodra, le'olam me'amaya, Yiparach, v'yishtabach, v'par v'truman v'yignaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shmei d'kudusha, Refu li'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tu'tzlechata v'nehemata da'amiran me'alma v'meru amen. I brought our Torah outside, and so I'm going to reveal her as we turn to page 57. Ma'ariv starts with Baruch Hu as we take this moment to extend blessing to the source of all and have that blessing flow to each and every one of us.
Ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la la, ya la 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 la. Ahabechu et Adonai, Ahamivorach. Hamivorach, Baruch Adonai, Hamivorach leolam vaed. Baruch Adonai,
In our Torah portion, there's a tradition to write the very first word of our new book that we begin. We start Leviticus, and so the first word in the Torah, Vayikra, is written with a small aleph. It is noticeably smaller than most other letters, and it almost negates the aleph. There's a way that you can read the word without it, which makes the word Vayikar, which means precious or dear. And so one of the teachings that Rabbi Rachel Timoner offered in a Zoom webinar, if you're like me, you've been to dozens and dozens of Zoom webinars this past week, but some of them have been incredibly valuable, and this teaching from Rabbi Timoner has stayed with me over the last 10 days. And she has invited us to think of this moment as one that invites us to reflect on what is most precious or most dear to us, which is what exactly the musician David Berkeley has done in this song, which is one of our community's favorite pieces, This Be Dear to Me. As you hear it, you'll understand why, as it calls out this natural world which is dear to us. Tonight it serves as our alternative to Asher Vivaro.
Oh, the water in the street, flowing through the centuries, through the canyons, through the trees, this be dear to me. Oh, the breezes as they blow across the seas through your window, where they come from, where they go, this be dear to me. Oh, this be dear to me. Oh, I believe this is what's worth fighting for. Oh, help us see that there is so much more. Adonai. Oh, the desert vast and wide, silent under endless sky. Then you put your hand in mine, this be dear to me. When you wake still warm from sleep, half a dream, your soft lips speak. Safe and near me, you I'll keep. This be dear to me. Oh, this be dear to me. Oh, I believe this is what's worth fighting for. Oh, help us see that there is so much more. Adonai, Adonai. Oh, the autumn rust and gold, winter mornings crisp and cold, and in spring the world unfolds. This be dear to me. Oh, this be dear to me. Oh, eagle cries, the great whale sings, be dear to me. Oh, this be dear to me. Oh, I believe this is what worth fighting for. Oh, help us see that there is so much more. Adonai, Adonai. If I leave this world too soon, far beyond the silver moon, live your life with love and truth, this be dear to me. Look, there's love in all that's true, this be dear to me. Feel the love surrounding you, this be dear to me. Oh, this be dear to me. Yes, you are dear to me.
Turn to page 63. Ahavat Olam. Ahavat Olam, Beit Israel, Amcha Torah u'mitzvot, Chugim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta. Avinu Adonai Elohim, Nasiach b'chukecha, Divrei Toratecha, u'b'mitzvotecha, le'olam pa'er. Hayenu yorech yameinu, yorech yameinu. Lahem neged yomam v'layla, yomam v'layla. Yemat avot Hashem emei olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev amo Yisrael. Amen. We find the Shema on page 65. I'm going to let the siren go by. Just take a moment, collect our thoughts. Let our own personal sirens quiet down. Take a deep breath. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Yahavta ha'ed Adonai Elohecha, Bechol levavecha, v'bechol nafshecha, v'bechol meodecha, v'hayu ha'devarim ha'eleh, asher anochi mitzavecha, hayom al levavecha, v'shinantaham levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shitecha b'veitecha, v'vagatecha b'derech, v'shapecha u'v'tumecha, v'kshartam le'ochot al yadecha, v'hayu l'tutafot v'hineinecha, u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, chanted, the invitation is to bring attention to loving that sense of godliness with all of our hearts, with all of our souls, and with all of our strength. Love is our pathway to unity. We chant these words as we did in our mythic story of moving from a place of confinement to a place of freedom. Would it be love that parts the waters as we sing these words from Shir Yaakov, this melody? Mika Mocha, you'll find on page 79. And we'll do this as a call and response. And I invite you to join me on the response.
Mika Mocha, Ba'elim Adonai,
Adonai,
Mika Mocha, Nedar Bakodesh,
If you turn to page 80 and 81, where you'll find the transliteration on 83, we find the Hashkivenu, which is a prayer that speaks to our need as human beings to seek comfort and to feel the embrace of safety. It was written in a time when the night was fraught with unknown danger, and this plea was one that invited a sense of connection to the sacred mystery of life. And it guides us to let us know that it is acceptable and even holy to ask for that comfort from others when we ourselves are anxious or fearful. As we chant these words to a melody written by Dan Guerin, our lay cantor, we are mindful of being part of that Sukkot Shalom, that canopy of peace that extends comfort, of wholeness to all of us, seeking that sense of connection and comfort. Please join us in singing.
Sukkot Shalom Lecha, Ufros Aleinu, Sukkot Shalom Lecha, Ufros סוכה שלומך. ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך.
I want to take a moment as we think about this Sukkot Shalom. It's an opportunity for us to, as I mentioned last week, to think about the Ushpizim in that Sukkah. Who are the guests that we want to call in? Who are the people that we want to offer and extend a sense of that comfort? Who are the people that we are hoping will reach out to us, that we want to call in? Who are the folks no longer with us that give us comfort when we bring their memories to mind? In many ways, I've been addressing a great deal this week in our morning meditations. All of us who are sheltering in place, all of us in our home. It's been a really important reminder that not all of us have that luxury, and that there are many who, for a variety of reasons, some economic, and some because they're called to do the work that they do, are needing to go and to respond to either urgent personal needs or urgent communal needs. And I'm just mindful, and I want to call into the Sukkot Shalom all of those who are caregivers, all of the folks that are tending to the needs of those who are sick, to those who are hungry, to those who are homeless, and to really honor and recognize their work. And I want to offer this prayer that I received from my mentor, Rabbi Sharon Kleinbaum, and she passed it on from a good colleague who wrote this, Rabbi Ayelet Cohen. Many of you might remember Rabbi Sharon Kleinbaum was one of the first interns here at Congregation Beit Haverim, and in turn, I was one of her first interns at CBFT. So in a way, we're all woven together. And so these are the words, A Prayer for Caregivers by Rabbi Ayelet Cohen. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless all those who put themselves at risk to care for the sick, those in our community who work for the CDC, for the physicians and the nurses and the orderlies, for the technicians and home health care aides, for those who work in public health, the EMTs and the pharmacists, and bless especially anyone that you want to add in this moment by name or an individual or a category of health worker. I'll pause so you can add them into this prayer. May they, all of them together, who navigate the unfolding dangers of the world each day, to tend to those that they have sworn to help, receive blessing. Bless them in their coming home and bless them in their going out. Ease their fear, sustain them, protect them, and restore their hope. Strengthen them that they may bring strength. Keep them in health that they may bring healing. Help them know again a time when they can breathe without fear. Bless the sacred work of their hands. May this illness pass from among us speedily in our days. And let us all say together, Amen. So for those who want to pray a silent Amidah, you'll find it on page 91. In a virtual space, I'm going to invite us tonight instead, in terms of us as leaders, just to take a moment of silence, and then we will move into a prayer for healing. But please take your time if you are saying the traditional prayer. Amen. We take a moment to call to mind, and for many of us to speak out loud the names of those in our families and in our communities for whom we pray a refuah shlema, a healing of body, of mind, and of spirit. And I invite you to say their names out loud now before we chant this prayer. Please do so. And I will connect your names with the names of those in our community: Richard Adler, Hillary Bauer, Joseph Beckman, Loretta Bernstein, Joan Bettman, Bob Bloomfield, Nefesh Chaya, Judy Cohen, Richard Cohen, Larry Durish, Estelle Green, Sylvia Gross, Jerry Falcon, Larry Huntsberry, Ari Kalfas, Rabbi Arturo Kalfas, Matthew Kantrowitz, Arnie Korfine, Michael Lappin, Bob Levy, Elaine Levin, Tommy Macon, Lang Marsh, Melissa Matcha, Esther Myers, Sharon Miller, Sarah Newmark, Aylin Olson, Dory Perling, Michael Perling, Mark Podhorzer, Ethan Post, Gary Rosenthal, Judy Roth, Harris Rotman, Clifford Greenfield, Louise Franklin Sheehy, Oren Staple Wax, Elliot Stryker, Maria Talenti, Mary Waitman, Dolly Wax, Shirley White, Aline Tootie White, Phil Whiting, John Witherspoon, Sarah Dardick, Beth Ann Bootycant, Dan Guerin, Gertrude Stern, Sherry Cornett, Iris Bull, and Jamie Robertson.
V'shebera avotenu Kol ha'chaim ve'imotenu Hu yevarech ve'yirachem et ha'cholim et ha'cholim el na'vetzana el na'vetzana el na'vetzana el na'vetzana We call in response. Mishebera, Mishebera, Avotenu, Avotenu, Kol ha'chaim, Le'imotenu, Hu yevarech, et ha'cholim, et ha'cholim, el na'vetzana, el na'vetzana, el
So it almost appears that I'm starting a new tradition for our Devar virtually. The last Shabbat and this Shabbat, I was moved to think about our Torah portion and offer a poetic response. I sent out the poem to all of our members, and so either if you want to revisit it, I want to read it. Last time I explained it and then I read it. I want to read it first and then share with you a little bit of the Torah that is within it. It's called Vayikra, zooming in on the call. When he saw the sanctuary that the Israelites built, Moses had a hard time seeing all of the generosity that was poured into the design. Invisible to his eye was the Israelites' labor of love. The colors were dulled and the intricacies unnoticed. Instead, all he saw was a tent. No, a cell. How could God be contained in such a small space? Thrust again into the wilderness, he counted on the old ways of communication, talking with God in the shrubs, in the immensity of the pastures, and on the paths back to the Nile, his birthplace. These were the moments of connection that Moses cherished, studying the soon-to-be ancient text face to face on the mountaintops. And now, even this well-adorned dwelling seemed confined and contorted, closed and stifled like his heart, so that when God beckoned Moses, the appeal literally had lost its appeal. Focused on only his loss, Moses shrank from the weight of his own ego's heaviness. Curled up like a small olive, zooming in, God called to him again, desiring and discovering ways to be close. Even in the grief of a new normal, Moses could hear the call within the sanctuary of his heart. I am beckoning you, beloved friend, not to disconnect. Seek what is dear, what is precious, and essential, God whispered. And on the threshold of the sanctuary, Moses accepted the call to connect in that moment. Blessed are you, God, who even in our confined spaces responds to us with your expanse. Let us say, Amen. So in our tradition, Vayikra, as I mentioned, has this diminutive aleph that is often referred to as the aleph zera, as the scribes written it in the scribal tradition. And so this aleph, the rabbis, whenever there's a discrepancy in text, it is a portal for the imagination. And so there are some rabbis who say that Moses really did not want to seem as if he were special. And so he wanted the word to be like kare, which is, and that he happened upon God. That it was almost an accident. And that the aleph represented his humility. In fact, Moses argued with God that there shouldn't be an aleph at all. And in response, God says, no, I am calling. And so they compromise by placing the aleph, but by making it smaller. And as I mentioned before, there is this midrash that talks about the aleph being small so that we can understand that there's something dear in the call. As I've been reflecting on what it means to shelter in our spaces and to seek sanctuary, I'm aware that for many of us, it can feel a bit confining. The homes that we love, the homes that many of us have well adorned, are putting great thought to how we have decorated it. Once perhaps were our sanctuaries, perhaps no longer feel that way. In many ways, it can feel like a trap, like it is contained. And I was imagining Moses not necessarily just being humble, but rather disappointed, because this new tent, this Mishkan, this sanctuary, represents an entire way that Moses will have to communicate. And sadly for Moses, this technology is not his. It belongs to Aaron and Aaron's son. And so there's a way that Moses, perhaps, I wonder, feels a little bit off kilter, feels stunted by this new technology and so overwhelmed in his own lack that he can't see what has happened before him. Is that there is a democratization. There's a way that all of Israel who helped build this sanctuary are invited in, and they're offering their korbanim, their gifts of closeness to God. And I think that for me, when there's a way when I get kind of stuck in my own story, it can be a block or obscure my opportunity to see what the blessings that there are before me. And by no means am I saying that this is a time of an abundant blessing. For some it may be, but for many of us there is pain, there is fear, there is worry. Like many of you, I have known people who are struggling for their lives in this moment. A colleague of mine, Bishop O.C. Allen, is in the ICU. And so my prayers have been with him and his family all week. And many others that we learn of, and some, sadly, who have died. And so we will feel grief. We should feel grief. But there's also this opportunity to not be like this Moses that I imagine, who can actually hear that there may also be a call. There may be an invitation. The fact that I'm able to connect virtually with people like Hannah Podhorzer or Ellie Emmerich, who have traveled far away, Nora Levesque and Mark Ledina, that there are these blessings where I'm connected with people on Shabbat and throughout the week in our morning meditations that I don't get to see who I love, who have been brought to the fore. And if I can't see that, then I'm not listening to the call before me. And so I invite us to lean into that blessing, that even in our confined spaces, when we call out, there may be ways that we're responded by God in that expanse, and that we can be like Moses and pivot from ignoring our own sense of loss for a moment to also recognize that there may be joy, there may be beauty, even in the face of the unknown. Shabbat Shalom. I want to give some announcements. Thank you, Will. Tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m., please join us via Zoom for Shabbat morning chant with Gayanne, our lay cantor. It should be a wonderful chant service. Families are invited to join Rabbi Gottfried for family Zoom minion at 10 a.m. on Sunday. If you go to the Beit Haverim website, which is congregationbeithaverim.org, you will see a new section in our main navigation across the top. It is called COVID Central. And if you're overwhelmed with all the links and resources coming to your inbox, know that you can always go to our website and look in the section to find links to CBH's gatherings online, to links to practical resources like help for those who have lost income. We have an extensive set of resources of where you can apply. We have spiritual teachings from our own community members, as well as collections from rabbis and other spiritual teachings from above, and so many more. So please join us. It sounds like the birds want to give you an announcement as well. It's a call that I'm hearing at this moment, probably to wrap up soon. So I will do that. We hope that this will help our community to keep track of all of the opportunities for connection and help in these strange times. We want to let you know that the CBH board is meeting weekly on Tuesdays at 5:30 to 6:30 so that they can be agile to respond to these times, and the Zoom link is in the vet mail. We will have a special announcement, as I mentioned in the beginning, by our first Vice President, Nancy Kreisman. So those of you on Zoom, please stay for a moment, and then we're going to break you out to Oneg rooms where you may be able to say Motzi or share some nosh together virtually. I also want to conclude by letting you know that we're planning to release pre-recorded Passover prayers and songs to support you in your own seders that you have in your homes and that you may connect virtually as well. We are also publicizing a number of virtual seders. And you'll note on the second night at 8 p.m., you'll start seeing next week a call for storytellers, because we will be hosting an evening presented by the Locust rather than the Moth. Get it? The Locust presents the Unseder, storytelling that you cannot pass over. And there will be an opportunity for stories that lead us through the different parts of the Seder. I think it will be a creative and fun way. And I wanted to offer something that was a bit alternative, because I imagine that many of the challenges that we have connecting virtually, that many of us may only be up for celebrating one night of a traditional Seder. So if that's you and you want to come and join us from some storytelling, or you yourself are a storyteller, look at the beginning of next week for all of these links. I look forward to connecting with you throughout the week. We're going to turn to page 121 for the Aleinu. Those of you who would like, please rise. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'atei tzidula l'yoseh b'reishit, shenatan lanu Torah hakemet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu, v'anachnu korim, v'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech machei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. HaKatuv b'Torah Adonai Yimloch ve'olacham ba'ed v'nehemar v'haya Adonai lemelech kol ha'aretz. Hayom hahu, yeh Adonai Elad, Ushemo Echad. We find the prayer for the end of hiding. If you do not have it, you can listen in. Take this opportunity to pray this prayer on behalf of all of us. As LGBTQ Jews, we are aware of the loss of integrity we suffer due to pressures of the larger society. We often feel forced into a dishonest presentation of ourselves to ourselves and others. The LGBTQ individuals who feel they must pretend to be something that they are not, the Jews who feel they must be alienated from their tradition and community to in larger acceptance, both are victims of a theft of identity and integrity committed by the sexual, gender-identifying, or religious majority. Creator of the universe, we ask that our hiding draw to an end, that we no longer feel we have to pretend, to promise falsely, to renounce ourselves, and that our fullest creative expression as Jews and as lesbian, gay, transgender, bisexual, and or queer people be among the blessings you bestow upon us. Amen. We find Mourner's Kaddish on page 131. I ask all of us who are observing a Yortzeit, which is the anniversary of a loved one's death, or if you're in a period of ritual mourning, to please rise, to say the names of your loved ones out loud, and let their memories be a blessing. Zichronam livracha. We find this prayer on page 131. Yitadal, Yitadash, Shmei Rabbah, V'alma Divrach Tirute, V'amlich Malchute, V'chayechon, Uvyomechon, V'chayei B'chol Beit Yisrael, V'agala V'zman Kariv V'imru, Amen. Yehesh Shmei Rabbah Mevorach, Le'olam Olmei Almaya, Yiparach V'yish Shabbat, V'pa'ar V'tromam V'itnaseh, V'tadar V'taleh V'talal Shmei Dekut Shah, B'richu, La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, ta'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom imroma, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru amen. And so as we're about to conclude with our last prayer, I just want to thank everybody for joining us. It truly is meaningful to be able to look to my left and see your faces, and to go after Shabbat and read all of the lovely notes on Facebook Live mean a great deal, not just to me, but to all of our staff and all of our community. And I want to give an especially warm welcome for any guest who has joined us. Please know that we intentionally want to keep our virtual doors open like we do our actual home. And though our doors may be closed, our hearts remain open. And I want to give an especially warm welcome and appreciation for Rabbi Deborah Waxman and Christina Ager, and folks who have joined us from Reconstructing Judaism. Your support and presence have meant a great deal to us, and we appreciate all of the links and the resources that you are giving us that we are also posting on our page, including, I should have mentioned, a family Seder that Camp Havaya will be offering. No Haggadah will be needed. All of this you'll be seeing in our vet mail, so hang in there. And let us conclude with this prayer for peace. To adjust Mother Teresa's quote, when we experience the sense of peace, it is because we remembered that we belong to each other. We belong to each other. Let us not forget, and let us sing these words of Oseh Shalom.
Oseh Shalom Roma, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel, Ve'imru, Imru, Amen. Oseh Shalom, Oseh Shalom Roma, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel, Ve'imru, Imru, Amen. Hey! La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Oseh Shalom Bimroma, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel, Ve'imru, Imru, Amen.
Good Shabbos, everyone. And I just want to also thank Haley Manette and Alessandro Ramaldez, who have been helping us technology-wise this evening, and to wish my husband a very happy birthday. Please feel free to send him some birthday wishes. Happy birthday. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. I'd like to turn it over to Nancy Kreisman for a few words, and then break you into Oneg rooms. And to folks on Facebook, just want to wish you a good Shabbos. Thanks for joining us. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Will.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. What a wonderful way to bring in the Shabbat, huh? Well, I just wanted to say hello from our board and let you know that we are moving full steam ahead, trying to help support Rabbi Josh and Amy R. and the rest of the CBH staff. And as Rabbi mentioned, we'll be holding weekly board meetings from 5:30 to 6:30 every Tuesday evening on Zoom. And I have to say the CBH staff have been absolutely amazing. All have been working so hard to provide updated information to our members, along with shifting as many of our programs and life events and services online as appropriate and possible. And again, you can look at the COVID-19 link on our website that kind of gives you an update on all the different things that we're doing. Wanted you to know that we, a couple weeks ago, reached out to our members 70 and older, and those who are on our Mishaberic list, and just to check in with them and see how things are going and find out if they needed anything from us. And now what we're going to do is the entire board along with our membership committee and perhaps some other members from our synagogue, are going to be making some phone calls and reaching out to our member families, just to see how things are going, because we recognize that as the days go on, it's going to get a little bit more challenging, to say the least. We're also working on ways to reach out to our children and teens, because they're really important parts of our synagogue as well. And stay tuned for some of the things that we'll be doing to reach out to them. And lastly, we are aware that things change every day, every moment, it seems like. And so we want to make sure that our members know that they can certainly call or email us, our office, if they need pastoral help, grocery shopping, or picking up prescriptions, or just to have someone to talk to from our board. So Shabbat Shalom, and thank you so much. Take good care. Bye-bye.
Next.
No, 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 no.
Hello.
Not quite sure what we're doing.
Supposed to breakout room.
Hello? Oh, that Alex. Ah. Tell Alex happy birthday. Thank you.
You want to turn the?
How are you?
Hello. Okay, join the breakout. Here we go.
Hello.
Hello, Effie.
Hello. Hey, everyone.
Ellie, hello.
Hey.
I think this is everybody.
How are you guys?
Good.
Yeah.
Where are you?
Yeah. Where are you, Ellie?
I see everybody has.
In Colorado.
You're in Colorado again. Good. I'm glad you made it back safely.
Meeting is still active.
Night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night. I guess you're done.
Shalom.
Shalom, hi, Joe.
I'm on
YouTube.
Hi.
You too.
Oh, we get to see everybody, Marion.
Okay.
We have in Chicago or going to the suburbs?
Hysterical.
Shabbos, everyone.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Good night.
Signing off, y'all.
People, there's still 17.
You look
George says-
Why are you trying to